Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Erie County Department of Public Works Highways Division Barns in the town of Aurora. This is the hub of activity for a good portion of Erie County's Department of Public Works highway snow removal, as well as its construction work during the summer season. A little snow out there today. Not much. We had our crews out overnight, as we do, starting in December through February. We were on 24-hour shifts, in which we have two 12-hour shifts, and we had crews out last night. Roads look good in Erie County. And also checked out the new high lifts. We got two new high lifts, as well as a snow blower, that if media wants to get shots of that afterwards, we'll show you where those are. But welcome to the Department of Public Works Barns in Aurora, as we have a very important announcement to make with regards to our ERIE Net initiative. And you've heard of ERIE Net for quite a number of years now. But what we are announcing today is more than just the plan. It's the reality of ERIE Net taking shape. So I'm Erie County Executive Mark Polenkars, and I'm joined here today by the Executive Director of the ERIE Net Local Development Corporation, Melissa Hartman. We're also joined by the Board Chair of the ERIE Net Local Development Corporation, Thomas Baines, the Deputy Commissioner of our Erie County Department of Environment and Planning, as well as the Commissioner of Environment and Planning, Dan Castle. And we are also joined by a board member of the Erie Net Local Development Corporation, who also happens to be the supervisor of the town of Boston, Jason Ketting. And last but not least, our Erie County Attorney, Jeremy Toth, whose office has been instrumental in the work in establishing ERIE Net and getting to this point today. So you're probably wondering, why are we out here in the barns in the town of Aurora on what was a snowy day and not talking about snow? Well, we're talking about these giant spools of fiber optic cable that you see next to us, because we have started the installation of ERIE Net in Erie County. They are laying underground fiber as we speak. It has started, I believe, in the town of Boston. And what we'll be doing during the winter is continuing to lay the underground cables, setting the beginning, this is the beginning, I should say, of the major installation, with the vast majority of it happening next year in 2024. I say next year, it's literally a few weeks from now. But in the spring of 2024, when the vast majority of this cable will be laid not underground, but put on poles all across Erie County. More than 400 miles of this high-speed internet fiber, which will allow us to connect areas of Erie County with high-speed broadband that have not had it in years past. As we all know, if you do not have high-speed internet, you are falling behind as a community, as a family. We saw that during COVID-19, that if you do not have high-speed broadband, you're not going to be able to get the access to Zoom calls, the Zoom meetings and things like that the children unfortunately had to participate in for a while there. And we realized that there were significant portions of Erie County that were being left behind because they did not have high-speed broadband. So we began planning for ERIE Net. Then COVID-19 hit, kind of put things on the back burner there for a while. But one advantage of it was the passage of the American Rescue Plan by the Biden administration's plan to help our country get through COVID-19 and get our businesses back in order and to invest in our communities, as well as to create jobs. And a significant portion of the cost associated with ERIE Net is being paid for by funds from the American Rescue Plan. So these spools that you see here, with the rest of them, which are outside here at the Aurora Barns, because they're so large, we didn't have really a place to put them otherwise, so we had to keep them here at the Barns location. Though the money associated with the American Rescue Plan helped buy those spools, and that fiber optic cable will be installed, has already started installation and will continue installation through the upcoming months, and then you will start to see it being put on poles all across Erie County. I'm going to turn it over to the Executive Director of ERIE Net Local Development Corporation, Melissa Hartman, to talk a little bit more about the process and how, if things go well, we can actually start not just putting the conduit and the broadband underground and on poles, but connecting our community in 2024, and how businesses and others can now contact the local development corporation, ERIE Net, to participate and get connected to ERIE Net. So Melissa?
Thank you. Thank you, County Executive. Thank you for coming today. Yes, we're very excited. The process has started. So we've basically laid the conduit in some of our underground locations. And that is the beginning of our actual construction. But what we've really been in construction for quite a while now, and it's what's called a make-ready process. And that's taking all of the utility poles and getting them ready so that our fiber can be laid on the poles. And like the county executive said, we have about 400 of our initial backbone that is being supported by ARPA funding. But one thing that we are really excited about is the New York State Broadband's office, Connect All, is going to be opening up additional applications for infrastructure of broadband across New York State. And one of the infrastructure programs the applications they're going to be doing is called the Municipal Infrastructure Program. And that will be helping counties like ours take and expand open access networks like ours and make sure that we are connecting to under and unserved communities, which is exactly the purpose of ERIE Net. And so we hope to take advantage of that additional funds and help the municipalities that we've been meeting with across Erie County and hopefully be able to participate and give them funding in the capital costs for them to expand the networks. And every time we expand a network in a community, it expands opportunity for those residents. And it will attract internet service providers to be able to either bring in competition where none exists or bring in fiber where none exists. And that's mainly our rural and our inner city. So that's a great opportunity. I think that we're excited that this opportunity and what it's going to do for the residents, for businesses, and for our public safety. This is going to provide a secure and high-speed internet that we haven't seen here before in most parts of the community. And I just really want to concentrate also on the public safety. They'll be able to utilize their own system, and they're not going to be sharing that. They'll have their own strands of fiber. That's really important when you're moving forward with safety. And we have to stay ahead of times, and that's exactly what the vision of the county executive and the county in general has done. In 2017, they started this project, and I know it's 2023, so it seems like a long time. These things take time, and that's for a reason. Planning is important. The county has a vision, and this vision is now becoming realized. So thank you very much. Go ahead, you want to introduce?
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate the kind words. At this point, I'm going to bring up Thomas Baines, the chair of the ERIE Net Local Development Corporation, to talk a little bit more about how this process is going along, as well as the work that we expect in the future once the actual lines have been installed.
Good morning, and again, my name is Thomas Baines, Deputy Commissioner of Planning and Economic Development for Erie County and the chairperson of ERIE Net Local Development Corporation. So today is truly a milestone for ERIE Net. Back in 2017, Erie County developed a feasibility study to determine whether or not this type of open access network was appropriate for Erie County. In 2019, we further extrapolated into a business plan to develop what would be the business structure for ERIE Net, how it would be organized, and the appropriate organizational structure that would support this type of infrastructure. And then in 2021, we formalized this organization to what is now known as Erie Net Local Development Corporation today. And so during that time, we've been putting together the pieces to make sure that ERIE Net as an organization is strong. As you can see, we've hired staff and Executive Director Melissa Hartman and other staff members. And we've really put together a sound foundation so that in the years to come, ERIE Net is a producing organization. So here we are today, 2023, standing beside the actual fiber that will connect Erie County. To us, it's not just fiber, but it's a symbol of progress for Erie County. And additionally, it really speaks to 2017, and we made a commitment to Erie County to connect this county with broadband access, and here we are today. So I'm excited for the months and the years to come as we progress in the construction. And with that, I'd like to introduce fellow board member Jason Keating and Boston supervisor.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Thomas. Appreciate it. So, again, my name is Jason Keating. I'm the supervisor with the town of Boston. As many others have said here today, broadband access for all has been a struggle in Erie County for a number of years, and it even predates the pandemic that we all went through. Working with the residents of Boston over a number of years, even back when I was a councilman, one of the identified opportunities in Boston was having decent broadband access for the community. And I was the cable TVA / internet liaison for the town at that time. So I've been really working on this at the town level for almost 8 years, in conjunction with, at the time, Melissa Hartman and other supervisors across the southern Erie County municipalities. ERIENET is definitely an opportunity for all of these areas to connect to this broadband internet service. As others have also stated, the fiber optic cable here today is proof of this. I'm very honored to be part of the board of directors for the ERIENET program. There's a lot of thought, a lot of discussion that goes into this. I'm also the liaison between the Association of Erie County Governments. So this is supervisors and mayors all across Erie County. I'm kind of the central point of contact. Any of the feedback or discussion that happens in those meetings, I bring back to properly serve, again, all across Erie County. So again, I'll keep this short, but I really do look forward to this. The construction has started in the town of Boston. I'm very grateful for that. That was not something that I was pretty surprised to hear myself, but it's a great opportunity for our community, also the Southbound communities, and continue to hope to support this in any way possible. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. ERIENET came about because the private sector was not fulfilling the needs that existed in our community. Supervisors, mayors, myself realized that we needed to take action, and that's why I announced at a State of the County back in 2017 that we were going to determine whether this was necessary and what we could do as a government. And that's what we've done. We came together as a people of Erie County to create the Local Development Corporation, and now be at this point here today where they're actually putting the conduit in the ground. And very soon, it's not just going to be ERIENET as an idea, it's now ERIENET as a reality where people are going to be customers of ERIENET, not only connecting our local governments so they have the access to the highest speed, but there's actual customers of ERIENET, and we as a community will all benefit from it when we have a full system working across Erie County. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for being here, and I'll certainly take any questions or have others take questions from the media if there are any. If they're not and you want to see some of the new winter equipment we have, we'll be glad to show you that as well. Well, Melissa, you want to answer that?
So we're hoping to start laying the fiber, just like the county executive said, in early spring. Really, that's very weather dependent. But we will most likely be partially operating by the end of '24, with it being fully expected to be done by the end of 2025. And when I say fully expected to be done, our system may continue to grow, so the initial 400 miles should be up by the end of '25.
So what's this going to mean to the average resident of Erie County?
Sure. So if you look at, our county is very different and diverse depending upon where you are. Mainly rural and inner city, they are the communities that have zero choice at this point, and probably no fiber option at all. If you take a community where I live in Eden, we have Spectrum, it's not fiber, and so it's not as reliable as fiber could be. So when the system gets built, and depending upon the expansion of that, we anticipate that internet service providers are, this is an open access dark fiber, so we're not lighting this. They'll come in and they'll be able to utilize that backbone that would have cost them millions of dollars, obviously, to get to these communities. Now we're there. And so they'll be able to offer what other examples of open access networks have, very low cost, high speed internet that didn't exist previously. And it also creates competition, which is a goal of an open access network, so that you are not beholden to one particular internet service provider, which obviously will bring down the cost. Every community, but we don't have the plan. That really depends on the make-ready process. So as the permitting and as the poles are ready, that will really drive if there's a priority project that gets done or that gets noticed, or a customer comes on and becomes a priority project, that could drive it as well. But as of right now, the make-ready and the initial pole process is what will drive that.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Good work. Thank you.
6 years in the making.